Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to this episode of Disney. Please stop remaking the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over. Do you have any idea how many Cinderella films there are? You have Cinderella, Cinderella 2, Dreams Come True, Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time, A Cinderella Story, Another Cinderella Story, A Cinderella Story Once Upon a Song, Cinderella 2015, Cinderella 2021. My point is that Cinderella is a story that, as good as it may be, has been beaten to death, and it seems as though Disney will continue to beat it to death, as they have recently released the newest incarnation of the Cinderella story in the form of Sneakerella. That's right, it's called Sneakerella. And as soon as you hit play on this movie, something just feels off. There are no studio intro things, not even a Disney castle, just the Disney Plus intro and boom, you're into the film. Which is weird because it was produced by Disney Plus, but it was also produced by Jane Startz Productions, who made Ella Enchanted. So did they just not want their name tied to the final product at all? Because honestly, I can see why. And I will give my second-born child to whoever can guess what the first bit of dialogue introducing the main character is in this film. Because there is no way that you'll be able to guess it.
For many, these dreams can feel as far away as a castle in the clouds. Once upon a pair of sneakers.
So was anybody able to guess Once Upon a Pair of Sneakers? Because if you did, then I honestly think you should get some help. Because that line of dialogue should not be able to form in anybody's mind. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, this is a musical. And because of this, I'm going to try and show you little snippets of the music. But if that gets blocked for copyright, then I'll have to get a bit creative with those clips. But the intro song is... It's not good.
Limited release, had to pull up early. Number 33 on the back of my jersey.
And for some bizarre reason, they use green screens and random CGI things like this throughout the entire movie. And just look at how bad the green screen is.
My kids.
For some reason, I couldn't find any information about the budget for this film, but it clearly could have used a bit more. Or they could have just tried to work within their means, instead of trying to get an entirely CGI version of New York. But anyway, our main characters are Elle, they're geniuses, I know, his best friend Sammy, and in typical Cinderella story fashion, Elle has a step-parent and two step-siblings. But because this film switches all the genders, it's a stepfather and two step-brothers. And his step-brothers are called Zelly and Stacy. Zelly and Stacy. Is Zelly even a name? Or could they just not think of any other unisex names? Like Alex or Tracy, they could have had Stacy and Tracy. Or Morgan, because it's a boy's name too. But we come into the film, Elle wants to go to a sneaker drop, but his stepdad won't let him go, despite it being Elle's day off. He says,
"This place has to be spotless by 7.
even though the entire shop is already spotless. Just look, what else is he meant to clean up? But he manages to sneak out anyway to go to the sneaker drop with Sammy, and on the way to the train we meet Gustavo, who does this.
Express! Come on, change! Let's go!
I guess Gustavo is the magic man, and nobody notices this. In the middle of the day on a busy street in Queens, nobody sees this. And while on the train there, we get a glimpse of Elle's talent when designing sneakers.
Hold very still. And boom.
Wow. They look like ass. He just put fingerprints all over one shoe and the red handprint of her latest victim on the other. I understand that he had limited resources, but really? So they get to the sneaker drop and they see the shoes that they really want to buy.
Can we?
Let's go get it.
Oh. I want to lick him. Oh, hell the game.
Have you ever, and be honest with me here, have you ever looked at a pair of shoes and said,
I wanna lick
lick 'em.
Hey, bro, how you doing? Not too bad. You know, I just got these sick new shoes, so I'm feeling good. Oh, nice. Yeah, they're actually pretty cool. Thanks, man. I know. Yeah. Can I lick them? You what? They just look so nice. Like, can I lick them? Let me lick them. No, that's fucking weird, dude. Oh, come on. You know how much I love shoes? How they look, how they reflect who you are as a person, how the laces feel in between my teeth. Just let me have one. No! Elle and Sammy end up cutting in line for the shoes, and people behind them are obviously getting mad about that.
Yo, cutters! Line's back here! Hey, cutters!
Until this stranger decides to help them by telling people that they're cousins.
Oh, hey. Cuz, I'm so glad you found me. I've been waiting.
Oh, y'all capping.
Nobody's capping.
It's our cousin.
It's our cousin.
Yeah.
Nah, these are my cousins, and I've been saving our spot in line.
Yeah.
And she is called Kira, and immediately there's a spark between her and Elle. And during their conversation, Elle is apparently a sneaker psychic. And then he goes full Sherlock mode and figures out people's entire personalities based on their shoes.
Alright, check her out. Hot pink kicks. She got the colorful base, but she had to go and heat it up with the laces. She's fearless. She laughs in the face of fear.
He says that,
You know, people are telling you a story about who they are. That's what a perfect pair of sneakers is. At least what it can be.
is it really that deep? Pretty sure people just decide what shoes to buy because they think that they look cool. Or do people actually wear shoes that they feel reflects them as a person? I mean, I don't do that. But then again, I'm really boring. I mean, you guys might do that, I don't know. So the shoes that they were going to buy end up being sold out, and the guys behind them get angry because they figure out that they aren't really cousins.
What he's trying to say is it was really nice to meet you.
Yeah. Hey, hold up. I thought you said she was your cousin.
So that dude and his goons start chasing them. And one of the guys doesn't seem to feel any emotion, which is kind of scary. Getting chased by some dude who's like... I do like how he's wearing a hoodie with a picture of a shoe on it though. For some reason, the idea of wearing an article of clothing with a picture of what you want to buy on it is pretty funny to me. And during this chase, Sammy just leaves. She just abandons them by going off on a skateboard.
Save yourselves! I got wheels!
Yo, we got
Like a true friend. And who the fuck said bye Sammy in that clip? That wasn't the voice of either of our two main characters, and that happens a lot in this movie. Just random people in the crowd shout stuff over the top of everything else for no reason. They straight up rip this bit out of Aladdin with a really gross green screen.
Up for an adventure?
Let's go! Get in the way!
Adios!
Trust me.
And what do you think their plan was when they actually managed to catch the main characters? I mean, not to be sexist or anything, but two of them are girls. So were these dudes fully willing to beat up two women for cutting in line? Or were all three of them just gonna beat up Elle? Either way,
It's stupid.
Kira and Elle then have a song together about how amazing Queens is. And on top of this song also being really bad, they do one of my pet peeves in musical songs, which is where they like talk during the song.
Hey, it's Ernesto making his pesto.
Put it to the test.
Is this not the best?
I guess I'm impressed. I want to say yes, but I'm not convinced yet. So show me what's next.
I don't know why, but for me, it always makes it 10 times more cringy when they do that. He takes her to the graffiti wall where the spray paint is terribly edited. Just look at that, it's sad. But they have a romantic moment, and even their shoelaces start to get a bit frisky. But then Elle realizes that he has to rush home so he doesn't get caught for sneaking out. He rushes off so fast that they don't even have time to exchange social medias.
About the sleek somehow I got from I should really just
I'm
tell
so sorry.
you.
I gotta catch this.
Hey, wait up. Okay, but I never got your... Elle, wait.
Oh my god, no! Now they'll never fall in love. When Elle gets home, he gets grounded for abandoning his shift. And it's here that we learn the stepbrothers' motivation for everything that they do in this movie.
Tolerable doesn't mean that you can just shove your shifts on me. Oh. Why are you always complaining?
We're the ones that had to leave everything behind in Jersey to come out to this dump.
They want to move back to Jersey. That's it. And I don't think anybody in the world wants to move to Jersey. Then we get what is actually the only song in this entire film that I kind of like. I obviously can't really show you it properly, but it's about him missing his dead mum. His mum's dead, by the way. Which, if you think about it, if Gustavo is magic, why did he let her die? Seems like a pretty douchey thing to do. It's still a very generic sounding song, but it's the best song in this film by far. We then find out who Kira really is.
Hello, Miss King. You have reached the penthouse.
Mom, the gala committee is getting completely bombarded with ticket requests.
Mom, I'm home.
Here, honey. Finally.
She is actually Kira King, daughter of Darius King, the owner of the biggest sneaker company in the world. And also another really weird green screen there. And when Elle and Sammy figure out who she is, they say these things.
Darius King's daughter, aka sneaker royalty.
That's crazy. Like, she's like a princess, yeah?
She is sneaker royalty and she's like a princess. It's such a weird stretch to make in order to try and get the story to be like Cinderella. But this brings in the biggest plot hole of the film. They didn't have time to exchange social media handles. Okay, fair enough. But now you know that she's famous. So you could very easily find her on Instagram or whatever and message her. You can't mention social media and then not use it. Instead of just looking her up, Elle and Sammy plan on going to the King 6 charity gala.
Now that we know who she really is. And boom.
Hoping that they'll run into Kira there. But in order to do that, he needs to design and create the freshest pair of kicks in town. So our boy L does exactly that. Sneaker montage! And I don't know anything about making shoes, but does it involve this weird 3D program thing? If it does, then that's awesome. And the bit where they reveal the sneakers is a bit... You've just got to watch it.
Oh, yes.
Whoa.
Wow, those are some shoes.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's kind of painful. We also find out that his family business, which is a shoe shop obviously, is going out of business.
You're selling the store?
If I can get one of these execs to bite, they're already a month behind in the mortgage and the way things are looking.
No, we can do a GoFundMe. All right, a fundraiser.
No, L.
And we actually get some sympathy for the stepdad. We find out that his dream was to run the shop with his wife, Elle's mum, but she died, and now he'd be sad. Which was pretty interesting. I don't think any Cinderella type story has made the step-parent into an actual person before. In typical Cinderella fashion, the stepbrothers try and stop him from going to the gala.
It's important.
I can't hear you. Sorry. Let me out. Guy!
You got that tight enough?
But then Elle is saved by the main man Gustavo, who is of course the fairy godfather of this film. And then we get a song from him, and the singing is very interesting.
Well, you know, good things come from good intentions when there's a lie.
But instead of a carriage, it's a car with the license plate of Pumpkin Express. They're really stretching for it, aren't they? And do you want to know how much they're really pushing it? They include this shot.
Life is what you make it.
Which is eerily familiar to something else. And this is especially weird when the film didn't even get a Disney Castle intro. Our duo gets to the gala and everyone is talking about Elle's shoes. So they're inside, everyone's talking about his shoes, but I noticed something truly horrific. During this shot, everyone is mesmerized by his shoes. There's one person that's still dancing like a maniac. And at first I thought, oh, that's weird. Everyone is focused on him, but this one girl's dancing, having the time of her life. But on closer inspection, that is not a person. They put a weirdly rendered animation of a person with no face dancing, and you can see where it loops. And upon even closer inspection, I don't think any of these people are real. And nobody has a face. Just what the actual f***? Could they not afford to get extras? It's so scary. You can even tell that some of the actual people aren't even there. They look green screened in, and I simply do not understand it. This weird looking stuff happens constantly throughout this film, giving it a very uncanny valley and unpleasant look. I hate it. But Elle manages to run into Kira, and she shows him their security protected collection of amazing shoes.
Oh my god. This is sneaker heaven. Oh!
And he acts surprised that she's never worn any of them. But if he is the huge sneaker fan that we're led to believe that he is, then surely he would understand not to wear them. It's like asking a Star Wars collector why he hasn't opened his Luke Skywalker action figure with telescoping lightsaber. But the night is going amazingly well. Kira is going to get Elle to talk to her dad about becoming a designer for the company. But just before he can, the clock strikes 12, and you know what that means. Time to get the fuck out of there. Elle and Sammy rush out. Elle doesn't know how escalators work, but luckily the shoe comes off in the perfect position to go back up the escalator to Kira. But when Elle and Sammy get back to the car, it's being towed away, which means they could have just stayed. Their outfits only got ruined when they were rushing to get out, and clearly the car would have been towed anyway, so they might as well have just stayed and had a great night. And before we move on, I just want to point out this woman trying to get a picture with King as he gets into his car. But the big conflict of the movie is that Kira thinks that Elle has work experience with all these big brands and huge companies designing shoes. And he lies and says that he does. But he obviously doesn't. Even though surely it's far more impressive that he was able to create these shoes that everybody loves by himself with very limited resources. But in this modern world, nobody would go door to door trying to find the person with the other shoe. So Kira instead launches a huge social media campaign to try and get Elle to come forward. Even though, in their falling in love song, Elle took her to all these different shops around Queens where he knew the owners by name. So why doesn't she just go back to one of those restaurants, ask them where Elle is, and she would find him immediately? Plus, Sammy is able to DM Kira and get a reply like straight away.
What? Oh, she DM me.
Proving that this was always an option. So the whole gala thing was pointless. But they managed to arrange a meeting with the king himself. Except the stepbrothers have figured out what Elle's been doing. So they sing a really boring and really repetitive song about how they're going to sabotage Elle by ruining his meeting with King.
Smart. Oh, nah. We gon' tear this place apart. Right now. We gon' shut it down. Shut it down.
So the meeting is ruined. Kira hates Elle for lying. And we are well and truly in the big sad. All hope seems lost. Until...
Ellen fulfilled because of one mistake? Or would the neighborhood he loved and whose spirit he represented come together to give him one more chance? Well, that would be its own kind of magic, wouldn't it?
Of course this film set in New York ends up being about community. Just like a lot of other films that are set in New York. There's this, In the Heights, Little Italy, Spider-Man 1.
You mess with Spidey, you mess with New York! You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us!
So they make the shoes and Elle goes to SneakerCon. Does a SneakerCon exist? Are there enough people obsessed with sneakers for that? One sec, let me have a look. Let me. Oh, okay, there is. Do people cosplay as their favorite sneakers or what? Plus, this doesn't even look like a convention to me. This is a convention.
Yeah, it's just like going to other worlds, you know, like other dimensions where you aren't rejected all the time. I don't know, like other worlds where your dad still sees you as his own. Maybe I'm not Mark who works at Arby's. Maybe I'm Onyx the Fortuitous, Slayer of the Bright Realm. I don't know.
It just looks more like an upgraded sneaker drop. But Elle gets to SneakerCon, he apologizes to Kira, and she is fine with it because he made shoe that has K on it.
Please take them. I'll leave right after.
But then, the worst rap battle in history commences.
Look, I understand, young man. My heart goes to your fam, young man. I know you.
And the crowd keeps randomly piping up and shouting really cringy stuff.
You got him! Hey, King, you don't let him get at you like that?
This ain't the 90s.
Oh, give me some of that new school bars. Queens in the building! Hey, King, this kid's helping you hold it down.
which makes the whole thing so much worse. But that's pretty much it. His stepdad comes in and apologizes for everything, so he gets a bit of redemption. Elle becomes a huge success, such a success that he manages to make a child fly. So in conclusion, the film wasn't as terrible as I expected it to be, because I've been waiting for this to come out for ages so that I could make a video about it, but it just kept getting delayed. But the songs were awful. Why did they have to make it a Cinderella thing? Was that the only way to make a story about having a dream of making shoes? Someone just thought, shoes. Cinderella is about shoes. It's just so bizarre. Loki can't wait for Disney to try and start making modernized versions of Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast like this. That would actually be very interesting. I would also like to point out that they say the word kicks 41 times in this movie and fresh 10 times in this movie. And I know those numbers don't seem like much, but when you actually watch the film, it feels like a lot. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry that it's been a bit longer since my last video, but I've been back home and I went to Download Festival, which was great. And this is actually going to be the last video that I'm going to make in this room, because I'm going home for the summer and then I'm moving into a student house next year. So I really hope I manage to figure out a setup as perfect as this one in that house. Otherwise, it will just be pain. So please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more of my videos. And if you do, then I will make you a custom pair of sneakers. Good quality is not guaranteed. Have a great day.